Hi, everybody. This is Chuck Myntti and Denang. So I'm going to read this. This is 4 pages long, and it's taken me a few days to write. So I'm just going to pretty much read it, and I will decide whether or not I want to use this with my face in here or just use the audio part of it, which I already recorded only the audio part of it. But let's see how I'll make the decision. Okay, so let's discuss the steps to move to Southeast Asia or anywhere really. If you are looking to exit your homeland on a more or less permanent basis, but before we get into that, please subscribe to my channel. Please tell your friends about my channel. And please click on the bell so you'll be notified when I upload content. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. Also, pause this and grab a pen and paper and take notes. I will cover a lot of things to think about. I'm sure I will miss a point or two, so be careful and be open to studying this path pretty clearly before you make it the decision to jump. Okay? Ready? Okay. So assess how permanent of a move it will be. Mine was permanent. It's like, I'm out of here. See ya. This might seem severe, but you will see the logic. Get rid of your stuff, all of it. Really try to avoid storage units. Ascertain the likelihood of you ever reincorporating that stuff back into your lives. Should you fool yourself into putting it into storage? Seriously, get rid of everything. Your kids don't want your stuff. You will never return to your home country after being here for a while. You will become accustomed to the total lack of BS, and living here is easy, so easy. And then you will ponder the nightmare levels of BS waiting for you back home. It's just like, no, I'm not going back. No. Ah. Assess whether or not you want to have any recurring stateside bills, i.e. mortgage, phone, rental properties. Are you going back? Get a Schwab account. Schwab kicks back your ATM charges every month. Often as much as $45, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a nice, like, at the end of the month. I get paid on the 3rd, and like on the 31st or the 30th, I get an additional $45, $50 kerplunked back into my account. That's always nice. Alert your bank to your travel dates. This is important. You can avoid security blocking your transactions if all of a sudden you withdraw money on your card from Thailand. Let them know you're traveling. There should be that travel date function on their webpage. Be well versed in your specific online banking. Know your user ID and password, for instance. Be well practiced in logging onto your online banking specifically from the laptop you are bringing with you. Make sure your secondary verification mode your bank will use to determine it is really you is an email address you can get to from your new location and not the phone number you just abandoned in the States. I'm going to read that again because this is like maybe the most important point of this whole video, okay? Make sure your secondary verification mode your bank will use to determine it is really you is an email address you can get to from your new location and not the phone number you just abandoned in the US. I lost my Facebook account to the same problem. I got locked out of my Facebook account and Facebook sent me a verification code to a phone number I hadn't used in years. I lost a 10-year-old account with 4,000 friends and 10 years of photos of my life. Make sure your secondary verifications are all via email with no excuses. That's like so crazy. That was such a drag, losing that account. Such a drag. So I created a new one. And now it's just went past 4,000 like 5 years later. Okay, use your cloud space. If you have a Gmail account, you also have a Drive account, which uses the same user ID and password. In fact, you get to your Drive through your Gmail interface as a web page or via the Drive app on your phone. Drive is 15 gigabytes of space you can get to from anywhere in the world. I have my DD214 up there, as well as university transcripts and all kinds of other docs. You can also share docs from the drive. It will give you a link to a specific file you can email to someone who can use the link to download it. I want to touch on something here someone suggested about people coming here to teach, to work. Teach English teachers. I am retired, so this hasn't really been an issue for me, but it is worth noting. There are some document requirements you should know about, such as having your transcripts notarized and your police background check notarized before you depart. If you are coming here to teach, reach out to your potential school or employer for a list of the documents you will need to have organized before you get here. Empty-handed shrugs don't work well when you are competing for those sweet international school teaching gigs. Have your docs in order. There are Facebook groups dedicated to teaching in foreign countries in your specific country. Find those groups, join those groups. They will be a great resource for you. You can ask questions, like, what do I need? Phone. Okay. So get rid of your leased phone and your stateside contract. That's kind of a no-brainer. Come to Asia and buy an unlocked phone. For instance, a SIM from Viatel here in Da Nang is $6 a month for unlimited usage and 4 gigabytes a day. Don't drag your T-Mobile contract here. You are paying $120 a month for. It makes 0 cents. For $2.99 a month, you can call any number in North America through Skype on your laptop. Skype has great deals for all over the world, and it works great. You can do a face-to-face video with another Skype user anywhere in the world, or you can call a landline. I called my dad at his nursing home every week for years before he died through Skype, through my laptop. It works great, just great. Meds, okay, this is important also. Understand your meds, know which ones do what. Understand your blood pressure medicine, your diabetes medicine. Is your blood pressure medicine 2 parts? Does it contain a diuretic? Know these things. Make a detailed list of all of your meds. Know what they do. Know their generic names. Also know your blood test results. Where do your sugar levels land? How about your A1C? What are your cholesterol levels? Also, don't stock up on meds before you come. We can find everything here, and if you buy generics, they are way cheaper than anything in the States. We don't need prescriptions here for anything, so if you want to go have labs done, feel free. It's cheap, and they will email your results to you the same day. Same with a CAT scan. Go have one if you are concerned about something. Feel free to use the doctors here. Most of them speak English, or utilize friend doctors back home. I do that. At Family Hospital here, there is an international clinic. You will be led around the hospital by a bilingual translator/guide. I am talking about Vietnam specifically here when it comes to not needing a prescription for medical stuff. I am not sure about Argentina, for instance, just as a for instance. Please research your specific country that you're planning on going to. Okay, do you have a passport? When does it expire? How many pages are in it? Buy the one with lots of pages. I still have 3 years left on my passport, but I'm running out of pages, and I bought the fat one. I bought, 56 pages, and I'm running out. I will have to get a new one soon, probably by October. Border runs eat pages. Traveling eats pages in your passport. So then get your visa for Vietnam, Thailand, Philippines, Argentina, Tunisia, wherever you're going. Decide on your city, Da Nang, Buenos Aires, Tangier, Tbilisi. Buy your flight one way. Get your visa first, though, so you know which date you can enter. Tbilisi, you don't need a visa. That was one of the nice things about going to Georgia. It's like you get a free visa just by landing with a U.S. passport. You get a stamp in your passport on a date, and you have to be gone within a year, before a year is up. So you can do an annual border run in Georgia. But it's been overrun by war refugees, and the prices have gone through the roof. So that's kind of not an option much anymore, which is a bummer. Okay, so let's see. Buy your flight one way. Get your visa first so you know which date you can enter. Yep, that makes sense. Book an Airbnb or a hotel for 3 or 4 days. You should be able to find a nice apartment in 4 days. Reach out in advance to a rental agent and tell them when you will arrive. Use the 4 days in your Airbnb to locate an apartment. Tony Lam is good here in Da Nang and on Tung. On Tung is the expat enclave where I live. You can find him in Facebook, Tony Lam. Tony showed me 3 apartments in 1 day and one was a clear winner. I had an Airbnb for a week and really only needed it for a couple of days while I found my apartment. Arrive, come through immigration. The immigration people appreciate your visa on a clean, unwrinkled sheet of paper in a plastic sleeve. This is kind of a no-brainer too. I mean, there was a guy in front of me and he had a folded, wrinkled, dirty visa. It looked like he had spilled wine on it. He was wrinkled and dirty and had wine spilled on him. Don't be a mess. Hold your visa in reverence. It's appreciated at the border. Get your bags. Get a SIM at the airport. The good ones are Viettel here in Vietnam and AIS in Thailand. At this point, I have zero experience in the Philippines for things like phones. I've never been there, so. But it's basically going to be the same thing. But I don't know what the good phone system is over there. Hopefully you will bring an unlocked phone you own outright that has 1 or 2 SIM slots. If you don't have a phone, don't sweat it. You can buy a phone and get a plan at one of the dozen shops, each with 8 or 10 addresses here. In Da Nang, phone stores are everywhere. Before you leave home, though, do some research on all of the phones available here. There are lots of really great ones that are cheap. Apple, Samsung, Xiaomi, Nokia, Motorola, Oppo, Google, OnePlus, Huawei, Realme, and LG, just to name a few. The shops will have 1 or more fluent English speakers. There are phone models here that we don't see in the US and vice versa. So yeah, phone shopping's kind of fun. But do some research because there are a million specs on each phone. But you know, on my phone, I bought a Oppo something 7 5G. Oppo something 7 5G. And it's a great phone, except it's 1080 KB, 1080 pixel resolution camera. That's great until you zoom, then it just turns to mud. It's just terrible phone, terrible camera. Great phone, terrible camera. I'm using this right now to record this, so if you don't push it too hard, it's a good camera. It's a great phone. Does, you know, what do I do with my phone? I mean, I use it for navigation all the time. And some photography, probably too much photography. In fact, I wish I had a better phone for photographic reasons, for shooting video, but so I might edit all of this out of this. But that's a consideration, is the camera. So like I said, do research. Do a ton of research on it. Where am I here? Okay, hit the ATM at the airport. Avoid HSBC. It has high fees. HSBC is, you know, Hong Kong, Shanghai, Bank of China. It's a huge bank, worldwide huge bank. Hong Kong, Shanghai, Bank of China, HSBC. It has high fees at the ATM. Go with one of the smaller banks. You may be limited to a 3 million dong withdrawal, but that's $120. That should do you for a few days until you can find another ATM in Da Nang. There's lots of them. Leaving the airport, avoid the hustler trying to sell you a ride into town for $20. Just walk out to the first cab. There will be, or should be, a captain there organizing traffic. He will ask you where you are going. Have the address of your Airbnb or hotel on a sheet of paper to show him and to show your driver. If you are headed to the beach in Da Nang, your cab ride should be no more than $5 or $6, i.e. 100,000 to 130,000 dong. Get to your hotel and decompress. Relax, take a shower, go get a massage. Massage parlors are everywhere, restaurants are everywhere. Let's talk about clothes. On our feet, we don't need much, assuming you are in the tropics. Flip-flops are great for 80% of what you will be doing. I have some sandals that Velcro on if I will be walking far. These two options are good for 90% of the year. I have running shoes that I haven't worn since I've been here. Shirts, I am a hiker and a backpacker, or I was. When I started out in 2018, I had some shirts with me that were already old. I bought them for my Camino in 2010. They were very high quality desert tropical shirts that were designed for hot, exposed environments. They were made from cloth that was basically woven plastic and it didn't absorb anything. They never got wet. Sweat went right through them. After a few years here, I just got sick of them. They were ugly. They were still in good repair and completely serviceable, but I was just so sick of them. I had them for like 9 years and I wore them a lot and they're just like so ugly. Oh my God. I got rid of them. I was thinking about what made them really great shirts for the heat. They were long sleeved. They had a collar I could flip up and tie a kerchief around. If I needed to do so, I could protect my neck under my sun hat. They had armpit zips for ventilation and a big vent in the back. And they were very light in color, light sand color. I was in Da Nang when I went shirt shopping. I was in the big market downtown. I found a booth selling shirts from a manufacturer called Myntti. These are great. And I'll tell you why. Myntti. Can you see the embroidery on the arm, on the sleeve? Not on that one here. Maybe you can see it here. No, probably not. Anyway, I found a booth selling shirts from a manufacturer called Myntti. It's spelled Vinhtien. What I was after was your basic light colored long sleeve poly blend everyday business shirt. This. I wanted protection from the sun and I don't want to be wearing a wet rag around all day. That's what happens when there is any cotton in the weave. Cotton just gets soggy and is awful to wear here. These inexpensive Vietnamese standard business shirts are what I wear pretty much all the time. The light color does not attract the sun, and the light color is visible at night. I see people wearing black during the day, and I just shake my head. At night, too. If you're on a moto, wearing black is okay, but if you're on foot, walking the street at night, wearing black is crazy. You'll be hit by a drunk with no headlight, which I see 20 of each night. I wear white, and I walk facing traffic. Crazy. Jeans and khakis are needed rarely. During the winter, jeans are nice. I've worn my khakis to 2 weddings with flip-flops. Yes, I have a necktie. Mostly, though, I am in cargo shorts 90% of the year. Poly blend, long sleeve, white business shirt, cargo shorts, and flip-flops. It is mostly too hot for underwear. I also have a baseball hat and big floppy sun hat. I wear a baseball hat under it to give it some support. The sun here is crazily intense. We are after very light colored, breathable poly blends that protect us from the sun and cool, light shorts. When you are packing, keep in mind you do not need any warm clothes at all. Maybe in the winter, if it will ever get into the 60s again, which it didn't last winter. I got here in October and it never cooled off last winter. It stayed pretty much warm and hot all winter, which is a bummer. But the chilly winters here are brutal because of the humidity, and 60 degrees on a motorbike and the humidity and maybe rain is just miserable. Maybe in the winter, if it will ever get into the 60s again, we might need a light fleece to wear under a windbreaker on our motos. There are the North Face stores around for such things. There's a few of them around. You know, fuck it. I've heard they are paying people to move to Svalbard. Yeah, let's go. No, I bet the vegan scene there is terrible. Okay, everybody. Chuck here in Da Nang. Love you, everybody. Travel safely. Be nice to everyone you meet. Karma has a long memory. See ya. See ya. Bye-bye.